Hey there guys, DRAGNOA here and welcome back to another Vanguard Overdress episode review. I'm going to be kind of snowballing through two episodes in particular, and then I'm going to have a lot to discuss on the third episode for today's video. So it's basically going to be episode 17, 18, and 19 of Overdress. So I kind of want to start with episode 17 because there was a lot that kind of happened throughout this. I'm going to be kind of like using my own personal notes here for it. We get, like, right from the very beginning of the episode, we get a flashback to what was going on before. I'm going to assume before Donji left his family and whatnot. I'm guessing something tragic within the family, and maybe he got blamed for it for no reason. That would be my guess, but he ends up waking up, and we find, after that, we kind of skip over towards Mirei's house and them getting ready to go seize the day and everything, them getting prepared and everything. Mirei brings up the point that she would have hadn't minded going over elsewhere to meet the people that they were supposed to meet up with because they had something scheduled, but I'm going to assume the manager or somebody, the caretaker, I'm going to assume, kind of said no because Mirei doesn't fly for certain reasons. To which Mirei was kind of like, hey, I wanted to go and try that Japanese soda and whatnot, and it was like, I wouldn't have mind going. And she tries to like pin the blame on Haruka in particular, to like, hey, you know, you kind of misrepresent. Frick, I can't talk, but you get my point. So it's just like, they'll just go. She's kind of like telling her, like, listen, don't just assume anything for me. But then again, she was kind of silent for most of that whole like little scene there. So we then move on to, you know, Donji walking into the Daybreak at HQ, and Sakuza's kind of trying to inch Donji into, you know, bonding with Mirei, even kind of like suggesting, hey, maybe you should go to this fair that has the soda that she wants to try out. And basically he's kind of talked into it, with even being offered a company car to help take her there. But the thing about it is the fact that he's on recording the entire freaking time. Like, he's like, and she's trying to keep tabs on him to make sure that he doesn't say something that, you know, that he keeps his word and everything, like from the previous episode. So they pretty much go on the date, you know. We get a little bit of insight on Mirei's character a little bit. Even kind of mentioning the fact that, hey, I really do love my brother that much. Even though she knows she's no longer with him. And it's really just the entire thing. I would imagine for Donji, it's just awkward because he can't say anything, but he's just but he's gonna take what he can get, pretty much, right? So, after the date, Donji's like, okay, let's go elsewhere for a little bit. And that's when they decide to play they decide to have a card fight. And I will say, the visuals for this were honestly really solid. I think it was the right amount of, like, considering what was happening before, it wasn't any stakes in mind in particular. It was the fact that you saw Mirei's deck really shine in this episode. I really did love the effects of it, and honestly, it was a really solid episode. We got to look into a little bit of, got a little more character development like we needed, and like, it just came to show that she's kind of the same person that Donji remembers her for being, except now she's just way better at him at Vanguard. So yeah, that's kind of how it is sometimes. But we're gonna move on to the next episode. Alright, in episode 18, this is more of a very like lighthearted episode. Basically we get some kind of a recap of sorts of what happened in the last episode prior, or like a couple episodes ago, I forget exactly. And we see that they're kind of, they were fighting off against Daybreak, and immediately after that, they're walking up a hill, just flat out exhausted. Probably got nowhere to go or anything like that. And it's just all like you could see the legitimate despair in their eyes. It's really just funny to me. But in any case, after a little bit, we go to a little bit of a moment where basically the Gridon kid and Zakuza are hanging around because Zakuza told the Gridon kid, like, hey, stick around, you won't regret it. And he's like, sure, but why does all this stupid shit happen to me? But after a certain point, the Megumi, Yu, and Toya finally make it to a ramen shop, I believe. And they notice that there's like, oh, we're so fucking broke. There's no way we can afford any of this. And then it's like, oh, sweet. There's actually like free competition where if you eat a whole huge bowl of ramen, you can... Oh, wait, we need 5 people. Fuck. So basically after that, right, it's almost like it was like magically on cue. It's like Zakuza, I'm convinced he always has a way of like just pulling off the most absurd shit of like crazy timing. And then Yu and Toya just get really excited and shit. Like, yes, we finally have 5 people, let's go! But Megumi is still like pretty damn exhausted. So the Gridon kid's like, Megumi, I challenge you to a card fight. And she's just like, nah, homie, you need to help me out with some food. We starving. We are on our last legs. Like, homie, I want to eat. So they end up going inside the place. And Megumi kind of explains the situation to the Gridon kid and Zakuza. And they just go to fucking town with the food. That really made me hungry in that moment. Like, I don't know why, but like I didn't have an appetite before, but I swear they make food in this show look so fucking good. But anyway, they start engorging on shit, and after about 50 minutes, right, they kind of come to realize that they can't finish the entire thing, and they have to come to terms with the fact that they may have to pay a lot of money. You know, I actually calced it. They have to pay like 10,000 yen. That's like about $87, $86, something around those lines in USD. So that's like, I mean, for 5 people, that's not a bad thing. But like, if you're really broke like them, it's like, yikes, feels bad. So they sit there contemplating for a few minutes, like debating on how they're gonna go about it. And Megumi comes up with a crazy ass plan where each one of them hits a certain, like they go for a very specific thing. I think Zakuza's goal is to hit all the noodles, Yu all of the pork, and then they have to divide the fish cakes between Megumi and the Gridon kid. And they just they technically failed, but the shop owner was like, you know what, we can accept this. We can accept this, no problem. You know what? You guys fucking earned it. And then, after that, like, Megumi's grateful and shit, but it's like, okay, you want a card fight? Bet. Let me clap them cheeks with Magnolia. And, honestly, like, based off the card art, I didn't think that Gridon would look this way. Like, I expected him to be, like, a little more buffed up, but, like, whatever. And, honestly, the animation wasn't anything too special. But that kind of finally leads into episode 19. So finally we get to episode 19. Probably the most plot-heavy filled episode in the entire show. I was really hyped for this after episode 18 kind of like was more, not necessarily fillery, but kind of had a little bit of setup for this. There were hints about it earlier. So basically we start the episode by seeing Toya taking some money out of his own bank account to give to Megumi to be like, here, you're exhausted, go take a bath. And she reluctantly accepts because she just like, what the fuck? But it's like, okay. So after a certain point, Yu and Toya are looking at a poster for some sort of festival and stuff, and they notice that Donji is there. But before we get to that really awkward encounter, there's a kind of a moment, there's a flashback detailing to the events that led to it, to their encounter, where the fucking deleter chick kind of brings up the fact of this one part of the entire day of their conversation on that one date they had a while back. And he kind of was just like, okay, I get your point. I'm not supposed to let on that I'm her brother. But she's like, yes, that's true, but that doesn't mean I may not reintroduce you as her brother at some point. Just keep that in mind. And they end up driving out to the spa place or whatever the hell, the bath place or whatnot, where they encounter Yu and Toya there. And before Toya or Yu can even ask any questions, Donji's kind of like, yo, what the hell happened to you two? You guys look like shit. And it's like, well, we had a little bit of travel expenses getting here, and now we're broke. So Mirai's like, okay, why don't we pay for their bath and stuff? And reluctantly, they take it. And they're kind of just chilling at the bath place. And Toya comes up to Donji after a little while and it's like, yo, thanks, you saved our fucking ass, man. And man, what a hell of a mess this is, isn't it? And Donji kind of asks him like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? And he's like, dude, what do you mean? We're here to kick Daybreak ass. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah, we've been kicking ass all up and down the city. And he's just like, so pretty much there's one thing leads to another, and Mirai kind of brings up the Vanguard question, and via random talks and just, moments, she finds out that the two of them are from Blackout, which she was under the impression the entire time, or she's been misled to have believed that they were the bad guys in the situation and not Daybreak, when it's been completely the exact opposite. And after a little bit of bickering between the two, Yu and Mirai decide to have a card fight. Like midway through, though, she gets a random psychqualia moment midway through where she starts having a hard time focusing on the game because of the noise surrounding her. And she tells Yu, hold up, just give me a second. She covers her ears and everything, and you can kind of see this little like purple lined mist thing going on, kind of implying that she has she's really sensitive to certain sounds and stuff. So, that's probably her lifeline, considering that she's blind and everything. And then she starts having her psychqualia moment. Okay, so this is just absolutely gorgeous. I love how this plays out, where Mirai asks the question, why are we having this car fight in the first place? To which Yu is like, well, I'm trying to be friends with you. And she's like, is that all? It's like, yeah, you fucking liar. And proceeds to absolutely beat the shit out of Yu's death. So afterwards, Mirai is just about had it, done with their shit, and they kind of just leave. Donji and Mirai just leave and approach, and surprise, surprise, Masamori is there, and he's like, yo, you done fucked up, my guy. And he's like, oh, look at her, the princess is crying. And Megumi just can't believe it, but then it gets revealed very quickly to Megumi that, oh shit, this is Daybreak. Oh fuck, that's Mirai, isn't it? Oh fuck. And the episode kind of just ends from there. So yeah, a lot of just crazy shit happens in this episode, and I admit, I'm really, the attention to detail of Mirai's character is honestly, amazing. It's been implied for a while that she's been able to, like, you know, play Vanguard because of, like, the stickers on the cards and stuff. And even in, like, the random moment right before the Sequoia moment, there was a guy that's like, yo, isn't that technically cheating and shit? And it's like, bro, how can you call someone out like that when they're blind? Like, cut the girl some slack now. Like, damn. Although I really wonder for a blind person how much that would actually give him some sort of advantage or not. I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on that matter in the comments. But overall, these 3 episodes have been very jam-packed. I think that really we got a lot of just the inevitability. This episode in particular was the inevitability episode where you knew that eventually they would come across each other because Donji would just somehow run into them. And man, this episode just really sets the tone for the whole rest of the season. I'm really like, I know we've got about like 5 more episodes to go, but like, oh, god damn it, I know we gotta wait. And yeah, so let me know in the comments what your guys' thoughts are on these 3 episodes, especially episode 19, because holy shit, like, everything about this episode was about as much as I expected, but quite honestly, I'm actually just enjoying this, not even just for a Vanguard anime, I'm just liking just how this is playing out. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about everything. I was honestly really like, now we technically, like, because even Galaxy Brain was like, on Facebook, he was like, yo, now we have 2 characters I actually give a shit about, Toya and Mirei. And I have to kind of agree, like, no offense to all the other characters, but these 2 are probably the most, like, interesting out of the bunch. Toya because of his shit past, and then Mirei because of the fact that she's so mysterious and everything, you know, and being the leader of Daybreak and stuff. So yeah, like, honestly, I'm really just, I'm liking the direction this is going. Like, this is definitely, like, getting me hooked, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So until next time, guys, this is Noah, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.